It's my great pleasure to welcome all our guests from so many different countries and welcome all of you participants in this roundtable and discussion and talking about the project Every Story Matters. This is, as many of you already know, the project that's been founded in 2019. And we are very happy to have today with us three representatives from the project, alongside with our own Petra Ljevak, who is the organizer of this festival, and then to have talents, and with some talents, their mentors. Some of their mentors are here, some talents are alone here. So you will be hearing about the project Every Story Matters that's founded, as I said, in 2019, and 6 countries are participating. So I think the best thing is to start already. And I will first give word to Yannick. This is Yannick Geens. This is how you pronounce it. From the Flanders Literature. Please, can you tell us something about what is this project? Why did you found it? But it's not yourself. There are other people, of course. And why do you think it matters today and hopefully will matter in the years to come? Will you use this or this?
I'll try to use this one. Okay, I'll come a little closer. Hi everyone, my name is Yannick. I work for Flanders Literature, which is the literature fund in Flanders, the northern part of Belgium, which is Dutch speaking. And we started this project together with 6 partners, with 5 other partners from Europe, because inclusion and diversity are for us a very important policy topic, but also a very important responsibility that we have as a literature fund. We are responsible for funding authors, illustrators, translators, literary organizations, but also reading promotion, for example. And we soon recognized that there was an obvious lack of many different perspectives, both in terms of cultural background, LGBTQIA+ issues, disability, age, and also the intersections of all those different topics in the stories that were on offer in Flanders. But that's not only the case in Flanders. I think a lot of people from different countries will recognize that issue or that topic. It's the case in a lot of different countries in Europe and in the world in general. And why is it that important? Why is the project called Every Story Matters? I think it's in the very core of it, it matters because stories give shape to the world that we have around us. Stories are things we tell ourselves, we tell our children, we tell to each other, we get inspiration from them, we get hope, emotions, believing in ourselves and in other people from them. And in that sense, I feel that it's important that a lot of different stories are available, because everybody should be able to access all these emotions and feel confirmed in their own identity and see what other identities exist in the world today. That's how I put it briefly, but
Thank you very much. This is excellent, and all of you received these booklets, so you can also read here how stories serve as windows and as sliding doors and as mirrors. So this is kind of a metaphor that we can use to show how stories are important in today's world. Rita, here from Portugal, Rita Pires de Santos, comes from Acesso Cultura, and I would kindly ask you to say something about the organization, what it does, and probably why is it so important to start early, to start with children and young adults.
Okay. So hello everyone, my name is Rita. I work for Acesso Cultura, and we are a very small cultural association. That it's mainly composed by workers in the cultural sector in Portugal and abroad. And the mission of our association is to promote physical, social, and intellectual access to cultural participation. And we do believe that it's important, very important, to promote this access in various levels to participation in culture. And we were very, very, very pleased to be part of this project, Every Story Matters. And it was, the initial conference was in Portugal, in Lisbon, the first one. And in the year 2020 and 2021, we organized more or less 15 workshops with 228 participants. And to answer your question, why it is important to start early, I would say that one of the starting points to these workshops was the fact that books do not reflect society as it is. So if you start early, really early, to reflect the society as it really is in its immense diversity, we will be on a very good way.
Thank you very much. There we come to our third participant from the project itself in terms of organization, Rosemary Huben, or Huben, yeah. Rosemary from Rose Stories. Please tell us about Rose Stories and tell us, as I understood from what you can find at internet, is that your organization is also very specialized in terms of organizing workshops and publication of the books, because it's very nice to talk a lot about equality and inclusion and everything, but the final product, books, and how to bring these books to young people is also very important. So please tell us something about that.
All right, my name is Rose Marijn from Rose Stories. We are an organization in Amsterdam. We make theater, movies, books, and a big part of our organization is making talent development programs. We do it for film, for theater, for like all the ways you can tell a story. And one of them is children books development program. We do it in Dutch for the Dutch people, diverse makers, like people who are diverse. And now we do it in the Every Story Matters project. Within those projects, we offer talents workshops, masterclasses, coaching, and at the end they will, pitch their stories for publishers and other organizations, and we will hope that they will just publish their books.
So you were the one to organize all these workshops for talents. Most of them.
Yeah.
Okay, I heard already from Mirna how good these workshops were and how much they helped in development of talent. So obviously you are very good in what you are doing. Thank you very much. So for the rest of this first part, I would say it's very important that we could organize all of this and gather here around this. But the most important people are people who are talents, who are chosen among 170 people, 6 of them, based on what they did, what they showed, how they impressed committees in different countries. So I think they should get a very warm welcome right now, and then we'll proceed. Thank you very much. This goes also for their mentors, who will be telling how important it was for them and for their development and for development of these young people to work with them. So thank you also very much to be here with us and to share your stories. So how we think this will proceed is that I will introduce every of these talents that are today with us. Some of them couldn't be today with us. and say a few words, and then Valentin will show us very short, brief film about each talent, and then I'll ask 1 or 2 or 3 questions as much as we have time. So first guest and first talent comes from Belgium. This is, I don't see with glasses and without. This is Chamisa de Breuil. Yeah. That's how you pronounce it. She wrote a graphical novel before this one, and she is already a professional in the field, but maybe not as well known as she should be based on what she does. So we hope that this project will help her to develop this even more. With her, Fatinha Ramos, her mentor, came. So alongside with Croatia, this is the only country where we have both mentor and talent. So welcome both of you. Valentin, can you show us the film?
Hi, my name is Chamisa de Breuil, and I'm an illustrator and a writer living in Antwerp, Belgium. I've been writing stories for a long time now. I started off as a graphic novelist, but now I'm delving in the world of children's books. I'm presenting to you my first children's book. It is called De allerbeste uitvinding van de hele wereld, and it's written in Dutch. It is currently published by Horizon Uitgeverij in Belgium and the Netherlands. The title, loosely translated, means the very most best invention in the entire world. It is the story of Lola and Lander. Lola is a great inventor. She's so smart. She's the smartest girl you've ever seen. And she has so many girls. She loves to invent her own things, make robots. She's great in nature, geographics, anything she can do. Anything except find a solution to make her brother happy. He's sad, and she wants to make him better. So she travels the world, takes him with her in the hope that he will get better. But in the end, she'll learn that the smallest solutions are often the best and most fun. The story is based off of my own relationship with my brother, my little brother Tanaka. He also felt sad, overwhelmed, depressed, and I wanted to be the one to help him. So it's a book about love, friendship, sisters and brothers, being the smart sister who always thinks she knows better, and being the smaller brother who actually does know better. It's a story for children of color, but also parents of color, or those who would love to have a good conversation about brotherhood, sisterhood, growing up together. It's also a book about girls in science. I wrote a book together with the University of Ghent, and they helped me to really express the position of a small girl of color in the science world. At the end of the book, there's even an educational part, so that parents can read it at home, but also kids can read it at home. It's a lovely book. It's written for 4+, but actually you can read it at any age if you want to, because it has multiple layers. But small readers can understand it, and bigger readers know what the deeper meaning is about. It is a small book. It has 12 spreads. It is very colorful. This is one of the images, for example, and it can still be made into bigger things as a podcast or videos or movies. I feel there's a lot of potential for Lola Lander. My greatest hope is that there will be more books, 2 or 3 parts, so you would have a small series to offer your audience. Readers can be of any age and any color, but I definitely support the fact that it is a book written and drawn by a person of color for people of color. I'm happy to explain more. My Instagram is @chamillustrates, and my publisher is always open for questions or publishing rights. Hope to hear from you soon. Yeah, enjoy!
Thank you very much for making this video for us. But since you are here now, I can ask you more questions. So before I saw the video, I didn't know that this is also your experience. Is it in the book itself, because it's published, you can tell us, is it so that you seek also the answers why the brother is sad, or try to make him happy and don't ask too many questions?
That's the actual plot line, that she doesn't ask any questions.
Okay.
So it's about wanting to do good for somebody that you really love, but then not really asking them what they need, just helping them because you think, oh, you're sick, eat some soup, or you need to go for a walk. And sometimes all the person wants is that you ask them how they're feeling or how they are living. And that's kind of the lesson that I also had to learn, and that's what the book is about.
Yeah, I'm asking that for a reason, because many times, especially adults, ask, oh, why are you feeling like that? How can I help? Blah, blah, blah. But sometimes it's something else that you need. I saw on your webpage, which is very active, I think, and you can go online and see also if you are interested, that there are, besides this book, there are lots of illustrations that seem to me very proactive for rights of women. Is this one of your themes?
Yeah, if somebody asks me what are the 3 things that really hurt you or concern you the most and what you illustrate about, it's definitely feministic issues, body positivity, and in this body positivity also then equality within people who look different. So mostly it's, I always say I'm a very narcissistic illustrator. I work for myself and people who look like me, but it's definitely for me very important to speak on what it is like being a woman, and also what it is being like feeling different. Yeah, those 2 things.
Thank you very much. And Fatinha, what have you been working most when you were a mentor for Shamisa? So what have you been talking about? What were the topics you had to develop? How do you think you helped her?
Well, first of all, I think Shamisa already has a lot of experience, so I didn't need to kind of help her too much on that. But it was more in the storyline that I helped her. Because sometimes when I'm not a writer at all, and I have a lot of respect for writers, but as an illustrator, sometimes we have to put ourselves in the other position of the children, so we are not telling stories to adults, but also going out of ourselves and see it from another perspective. And so that's the way I think I could help Shamisa to see it through another perspective, the story. Because there is this famous quote, there's this quote that always stays on my mind, which is, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Okay. So it was a little bit the upside down thing that I tried to do with her, and I think she just did it perfectly.
Okay, thank you very much. For the last question, how does it feel to be a published author? Because this is something that not everybody already has.
It's very strange because all you think about is really making something, really. You're always thinking about how can I make it better, and then to have it in your hands is almost really scary. Because now it's not yours anymore, it's somebody else's. Someone can give their feedback or think about it or take it home. So I feel like it's a gift to me and a good way to connect with others. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Now we have Germany. Our author Manaf Alatar is unfortunately not here with us, but his mentor Heike Herold is here. Hi, Heike. Hi. Manaf has been working on a project for his illustrator, and he's been working on a project for kids 11 to 14 years old. The book has not been published yet, if I understand correctly, and it's called Confused Much. It's very, I think, interesting and openly talking about probably I can say a problem that many young people have. So can you show us the film?
Hi, my name is Manaf and I'm an artist and an illustrator living in Berlin for the past 7 years. And I'm the author of Confused Much. My book is written in English and it's made for people around 11 to 14, 15 years old. But I really hope everyone who would read it would enjoy it anyways. And it's a fictional, multi-dimensional, illustrated story that's made of 3 parts. Each part is different from the other one and they changed throughout the story with drawings and everything. And it talks about this kid who travels within his own brain and meets some people that help him throughout the way, throughout his nightmares and dreams, and finally tries to find his reality. And I really hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you.
That was short. I wanted to ask you first what was in Manaf's work that you found the most interesting, the most intriguing, something that attracted you most?
I think it's Manaf I found so very interesting because he's so different to me, and he's I'm very impressed because he's such a young man and living so far away from home in a totally different culture, and how he made his way, and how he tries so many different things to, and that's impressive, I think. So, and I think it's the thing he's trying to work out in his text to look who is he? So, and what is he beside of being in Syria, being in Berlin, or something like that? And yes, that was impressive for me.
This is probably the best time to say something more about how we look at each other, because obviously he is very different from very different culture, but at the same time as a person rounded and very different in creative way. It doesn't matter where you come from. So I think this project from my perspective is very much about that, how we see each other as rounded people. You yourself worked, as I saw, with almost every possible big and small German publisher, and have lots of experience. Can you tell us a bit more about, in the realm of this project, a bit more about how difficult it is for a young unpublished author to get published, let's say in Germany, or anywhere that you are close to? What must happen for this to become true?
So I think if you like to do this and you know what you want to tell, maybe it's not so very difficult, because you need to keep on going. So for me, the first years, nobody wanted to publish me, so I went always to the fair, and I showed my works, and then someone came and they worked with me, and then somebody else sees it, and then it's going on, and then sometimes nobody wants to do anything to do with you, and then everybody has a job for you, so this is rising and going low, but yeah, I think it needs that you believe in yourself, and that you want to tell stories, and that you don't have to look too much what the others want from you. It's more what do you want to tell others. So
okay. Do you have any books that were already translated into Croatian or not? Not yet.
No, I don't think so.
So I hope some publishers are here too to hear that. Thank you very much, and say our hellos to our author.
Yes, I would do.
Next one is Portugal. We have Inés Viegas Oliveira here with us. She is an author. I don't know how different she is from others, but she is definitely different in that she didn't start from illustration and writing at the first, as the first thing. You studied physics, you studied math. After that, you mastered in illustration. So after we see your film, I have lots of questions to that end. Your mentor is not coming. No, she's not here. Okay.
Olá, o meu nome é Inês Viegas Oliveira, sou uma escritora e ilustradora portuguesa. A história que eu desenvolvi para o projeto Every Story Matters culminou num livro escrito e ilustrado por mim, que se chama O Duelo. É uma história de ficção com ilustrações que foi pensada para todas as idades. Um leitor mais novo poderá focar-se numa personagem que está presente em todas as páginas e que vai avançando, e um leitor mais velho poderá reparar noutras nuances. E por isso o livro foi construído com várias mensagens e várias camadas. A história passa-se num país muito longe, muito antigo e muito frio, onde dois homens discutem há tanto tempo que não se lembram porque é que começaram a discutir. E então eles decidem convocar um duelo para resolver o problema. Começam costas com costas no meio do livro e deverão andar 100 passos antes de se virarem e dispararem. Eles vão se afastando e, à medida que se afastam e que vão contando as suas pegadas, o leitor começa a seguir apenas uma das personagens. Ele continua e continua, e com cada passo um novo indício de vida surge. A dada altura, perguntamo-nos: será que ele se vai virar e disparar? Ou será que simplesmente se perdeu? A narrativa do livro vai sendo acompanhada pelo seu grafismo. De início, as páginas são brancas, com formas quadradas e monocromáticas. À medida que a personagem avança e a sua raiva se dissipa, as páginas vão sendo gradualmente preenchidas com novos elementos e novas cores, em pinceladas e formas orgânicas. Foram usados inúmeros materiais: óleo, lápis de cor, canetas de feltro, pastéis de óleo, pastéis secos, cisato, letra 7, tudo o que tivesse à mão. Foi uma forma de também eu me perder a descobrir e a experimentar novas formas de ver as coisas à minha volta. Espero que estas 56 páginas toquem qualquer leitor de alguma forma. Todos nós, a determinada altura, já nos sentimos irritados ou chateados com alguma coisa completamente espatafúrdia. Esquecemos-nos que ainda existem coisas bonitas a acontecer e a desabrochar à nossa volta, e de que a melhor forma de fazermos as pazes com o outro é fazer as pazes connosco próprios.
Inés, your book is unfortunately very actual today.
Yeah.
So when you were working on it, there was no nearby war,
No.
but there are always some wars. So can you tell us more about how did you start thinking that you should approach this topic for children or all ages? Why did you choose such an approach?
Yes, I don't know, when I was having the master classes and we were talking about how to put inclusion in our stories, how to have a more broader vision, I was always thinking that I was sort of in a privileged position
because I live in a country which is at peace. I have a home, I have a place where I could sleep. So I thought that maybe instead of talking about that topics from the perspective of the people that are suffering, I could talk more in a way of criticizing us. Because, I mean, at least for me it happens, I think it happens to a lot of people, that we usually get mad at things that don't matter. So, I don't know, I just wanted to try to put it in a book, and in a way that everyone could identify.
We will be talking a lot later on the roundtable about how one perspective is black and white, and the other perspective is so colorful as it is in your book. So if you think about the choices you had to make, did you choose watercolors for a reason, or it just came to you as a natural thing?
I usually use a lot of materials. I don't know, I use what I have at reach, but what I know that I wanted to put on the book was that at first, when they are together and the character is still mad at the other, I wanted the book to have less colors. So you've seen it's almost black and white, and that the shapes were really square. And as he goes further, the blank pages start to have more colors and more things, because he loses himself looking around him, and in the end the whole page is complete and is full of colors.
Okay, do you work on any project that is also inclusive right now, further on?
I'm still trying to finish this.
Is this published already or not yet?
It's going to be published this year, yeah.
Okay, this year. So all of your publishers here, you'll listen to these people and think about translating these books. We can talk about this now or later, but probably if we have time, you can think about these questions, three of you. Why would it be important to include topics that don't matter to us? For example, here, if you don't have many immigrants, or if you don't have many this or that, why would it matter to have books like that? Okay, thank you very much. Our next author and country is Slovenia. Unfortunately, we thought until today that Staša Guček will be with us, but she couldn't come because she has very, very small baby, so she was unable to attend. But she sent us a video, and fortunately, we do have here somebody who's going to tell us a few words about Staša, Katja Stergar, who knows her work. So can you show us, please, a very special video?
And I live in Slovenia. My project for this Every Story Matters includes just illustrated book with known words. It's actually half fictional, half non-fictional, and its title is Varuhi, in Slovenian, or in English, Sentinels. So a short recap of the story. The main character is an endangered species, a mountain butterfly, Apollo, which emerges from the egg in Slovenian mountain meadows. And among all the Apollos, this is the only one with damaged wings. And as the dark night approaches, these peculiar creatures surround the butterfly. But these creatures are not there to hurt the butterfly. They're actually there to make the butterfly feel safe and to protect it from the dark night. For example, the moths just to circle and show these beautiful patterns, and the fireflies light up the sky, and the flower spider comes and soothes its wings with the really strong spider silk threads. The butterfly then flies off to the mountains, but as the summer weather in the mountains is really unpredictable, and the storm comes, and the butterfly comes across this field of eggs and protects the new eggs from the really strong rain. So this way the life cycle continues, and the story actually ends with the sunset, and it kind of connects to the beginning when it actually again starts with the sunrise. So this way the story continues and goes in circles. And why did I choose this sentinels? Because sentinels is just a name for really sensitive species in our environment, because they, with these life cycles, they kind of warn us about the pollutants and the environmental changes, because they really rapidly respond to them. And butterflies and moths are really special in this area because they are really studied in detail across time, and they have a really short life cycle. And also, in this way, they kind of warn and protect us about the changes, and that connects to the story that also this Apollo is kind of he is saved and he protects on and carries on the good deeds with no expectation of getting something back. What I wanted to say also, that this story is meant for all generations, also for younger, for kids, because there are no words, it's just illustration, and also it has some educative part. It's also meant for visually impaired and blind, because if my original plan goes well, there will be a part with a deep print illustration, and this way this visually impaired will be able to touch the butterfly and learn about endangered species. And one more thing I wanted to say, how all of this connects to my previous projects and where I got the idea for the visually impaired, is because I make these DIY instruments, if you can see. They're actually already in a pattern of a butterfly, and when you play it, you make the sound by touching the wings and the patterns. So this is where all connects to my previous work in music and illustration.
This was Stasha. Stasha is working in music, illustration and technology, but in Slovenia there is also experience with silent books. Can you tell us, Katja, about Stasha, why this is inclusive, and if you can say a few words about these silent books, how do they work?
In Slovenia, we are really quite big on the silent books at the moment, and we find them really interesting. So that's why we also kind of chose an author who was able to do a silent book. And we also found a mentor, illustrator, a very important illustrator and art editor, Paolo Čakar, who helped her not just to develop illustration, but to develop story without words, so only illustrations. This is the silent books, which are at the moment really, we see how important they are at the moment. For instance, we have now lots of kids from Ukraine in Slovenia, and we could give them, we could buy them silent books, and we didn't need any translation. So these books are actually for everybody. And in Stasha's case, when she decided to do the illustration also with the patterns, so they are also proper for the visual impairment kids, it's also some added bonus. What she had a problem as a young author is that she didn't know how to connect illustration into story. So that's why she needed a mentor who helped her to develop a story out of singular illustrations. And I find that really important to have a mentor who pushes you to develop a new language in illustration, to develop a story and to make a book at the end. About her, why the book is inclusive. Actually, the sentinels or the animals are here also a symbol of our world, because we also have some people who are more fragile, who are more endangered, who are more different than we are different, maybe because each of us is different, and we all know that only sometimes just a bit of a help of somebody helps you to survive. So this book is very symbolic book. It makes you think about our world and how the climate changes, they don't just change world of people, it also change whole nature, and how we, all of us, can help it, that it doesn't happen that often, so that we all survive, people and animals.
Thank you very much. We started with that yesterday, with a story about us and the world in which we live, and I hope that by now you already see the wide variation of the books that were produced within this project and the questions that were raised, and this will go on and on. And I think if we think about our world in this way, it would become quite easy to normalize how different each of us is, and that's something we'll talk about later too. Our next talent comes from Netherlands. She is also not here with us, Najiba Abdellawi. Her book is My Neighbor is a Ninja. And this book will also be published very soon during this year. So most of these projects are coming to the end in terms of being published, but authors will work further. Najiba sent us one video about the book, and then she answered to some of my questions.
Hi, my name is Mirjam Megens and I work at Rose Stories, a publishing house and production house in Amsterdam. And as Rose Stories, we are the Dutch partner of the Every Story Matters project, and also responsible for the talent development program. And in addition, and we are very proud of this, we also are the publisher of the beautiful book of Najiba Abdellawi. Najiba herself cannot be present, as she just has given birth to this very sweet little girl. And that's why I, as her publisher, are going to tell you about her book. I'm sure I won't be able to do it as well as she can do it, but I'm gonna try. Najiba's book is called Mijn buurvrouw is een ninja. Translated in English, it's My Neighbor is a Ninja. The story is written in Dutch and intended for children from the age of 7. It's a read aloud book, or a book that children can read themselves at a slightly older age. In addition to this, it has super cute illustration made by Raida Al-Touni. And My Neighbor is a Ninja is a very exciting and diverse book full of adventure. And it's about Alif, who sees on a hot summer night a mysterious figure prowling around in the dark. And on a closer inspection, she recognizes her neighbor Kalti Minya's special illustrated sneakers. And then the question is raised, could her neighbor be a ninja? Together with her friends Tahir and Taouk, Alif decides to follow her neighbor, but not before they take a course on how to be a ninja. What follows is a journey through the night in which they encounter not only all sorts of night creatures, but also their own fears and strengths. and as they discover their neighbor's secrets, the children learn that not everything is what it seems. So the story is about 120 pages and will be published by Word Stories in November 2022. It's a beautiful book that fits very well also in the international market. So that's the story.
And for the end, there is our own Mirna Brođanac i njena mentorica Olja Savićević-Ivančević. I will switch to Croatian because it makes sense for most of the audience and for our guests. Mirnina knjiga
Mirna's book, Ladina Škola, Lana School, was published a few days ago, and everyone who are interested in the book can come tomorrow to the book promotion at the Bogdana Grizović Library. And tonight I'd like to ask Mirna, first of all, how do you feel as a published author of a book in the first week after its publishing? Is the feeling you have the feeling you expected? Is it something new, something different? Well, hello everyone. The feeling is very different than the one I expected. My whole life, ever since I learned how to read and got to love books, I've been dreaming about becoming a writer, and somehow it seems that once you publish your first book, then you made your first step, because then you have to win the readers that make you a writer. That was the case with me, but I expected to be very exhilarated because of that the book is finally out, and I will just be very happy. But in fact, now that this happened, I have a feeling that that the life I live is no longer mine. I feel like I've been watching this entire situation outside my body, from the side, waiting what will happen. I believe that this was maybe conditioned by the time we live in, because we're all full of fear about everything that's going on around us. So I'm a bit cautious with happiness right now.
Mirna, očito si jako pogodila.
Mirna, your emotions are very identifiable. Many of us feel the same. It's such a lovely thing to say. I find it wonderful at the end of this part to ask you the questions. And I'm also very happy about what Heike mentioned. One step at a way. The first step is already made. The second question I wanted to ask you, those who are not familiar with Mirna, I hope that tonight and tomorrow and through her book you'll get a chance to get to know her in the days, weeks, years ahead of us, because you have plenty of reasons. Mirna graduated from the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences in Zagreb in comparative literature and informatology, and she's currently a PhD student at Information Sciences, and books and literature are very obviously something that interests her very much. I suppose that you've always been an avid reader, so do you have a favorite genre, a favorite writer that you would never let go of? So what is your opinion here? Well, I would just like to say that I'm my position of the observer who's observing the world from a sitting point of view is that made me start reading and to love books, because while other kids were playing, and I just had to sit down and observe them. And I didn't like that. I switched to reading, to imagining myself doing everything that these characters can do. That's how I came to love reading. So my disability is the main culprit for my love of books. And the author that I would never let go of is my mentor, Olja. And this is not because we're here today, but just working with her was really a big honor, a great pleasure. I will never forget when the people from the project asked me, is it fine, is it okay with you to have Olja Savicevic as your mentor? And I answered back, so what's not to like here? What's not to like about Olja? I like the topics that refer to that refer to the things that are kept quiet about. In my opinion, writing should be a space that allows everyone to have freedom, the freedom that I have, because to me, moving, reading, writing is moving. That is my moving and my freedom. That is why I like all literature that the mainstream culture in Croatia is avoiding. Thank you very much. Mirna's book is right here. You can check it out. While I was reading the text, I didn't see the illustrations by Ivana Guljašević-Kuman, who is not with us today, but probably it's her little kids to blame. It is a story about a little girl who is very much like our author in many aspects, who speaks about something we should all be discussing in a way which is so not sentimental. And I kindly ask her mentor here, who, according to what Mirna once told me in a conversation, who played a very, very big role in the sense that she was her support in writing, but also when Mirna thought that she would switch to a different book and she had a creative blockage, what to do and where to go, she said, okay, lucky for me that I had Olja sorted it out. So how was working with Mirna, and how did you tackle this problem? How did you solve it? But it was Mirna who solved it. I just gave her maybe a little push, maybe a little guidance on the way with my experience, with my writing experience. How did this come about? I think that you managed to feel her charm, her intelligence, her energy. She was... all of us, she's a great inspiration to all of us who are in touch with her. She doesn't like sentimentalism, so I will try to avoid being sentimental. But besides, Mirna is thinking in a very empathetic way, and she was thinking about writing a story about a boy she met and who has certain issues. And then I told her, well, I mean, maybe you could go back to a story that was more closer, closer to you, which is more important for you and for the society we live in. This is a very important story that deserves to be told by someone from first-hand experience who knows very well what they're talking about and who can write. And Mirna can write. She's a talented writer, first of all. And anyone who takes this book, I'm very, very proud of. Thank you very much, Petra, for this book, and thank you very much to Nives, the editor, and Ivana, the illustrator, for her beautiful, witty illustrations. I'm very excited, even more than if it was a book of my own, because I think this is really one of the little stories that make big things for the society we live in, that really have the power to transform the world for the better, to make us consider, to think, what are the issues that people meet. For instance, children in a wheelchair. When this little girl, Lana, from the story started school, these schools were not adapted, they were not suited for children with a disability. And Mirna is talking about the first day at school of one such girl. What is very, very beautiful about this book, what we haven't had a chance to see in Croatia with such stories, this is not a book that wants to be correct. It is sincere, it is honest and authentic, and that is why we believe it. And thank you very much, Mirna. You taught us quite a lot. You taught me. You made me think about the things I've never given much thought before. I don't know what to say. Thank you for this joy. Thank you for the joy, your joy of life. I can tell that we're very short on time, so let's see Mirna's video for the end, and then we'll take a break and move on with the second part.
Hello, my name is Mira Brujanac. I'm a professor of Croatian language and literature, librarian, and author of non-fiction picture book Vladina Škola, or in English Vlada's School, which should be published by May of this year by a Croatian publisher Naklada Ljevak. The story is written as part of the STORY MATTERS project under the mentorship of successful writer Olja Savicevic-Ivančević for children aged 8 to 11, but also for all those who love and teach them. Lana is shy, intelligent and curious little girl with disability who really wants to fit in and be like the other children in her class. On the first day of school, Lana and her classmates, with the help of patient and delicate teacher, learn that the differences don't have to be an obstacle to true friendship. Lana's School is a story about the importance of family support and need for love and self-realization that is present in all of us from early age. It teaches that wonderful things await us on other side of the field. It was illustrated by Croatian illustrator and film director Ivana Uljašević. We enjoyed creating it. I hope that kids enjoy reading even more.
So, thank you very much for being so patient in presenting our authors and their mentors. I am sure that by now you are totally aware of the importance of this project and of the diversity of the books and questions raised. Some of the questions are obviously the same. How we feel in this world, how we can feel better if we are together and if we help each other, if we show more empathy to each other and more tolerance, but some are very individual. So with these words, we will have almost a half an hour, 15 minutes break, and then we'll proceed at 6:30 with the round table and discussion with our guests further. So please stay for this part too, and thank you very much again.